From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of Mornings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we go over the breaking news that's absolutely incredible about your fourth stimulus check. The not one, two, but four items that are breaking, calling for the vote, and finishing it by the end of this week for no more negotiations. Wow, incredible great news. In this recording, we're going to go over this fourth stimulus check, how much you're going to get it, and why this week is so great across the board. Then we're going to cut to fifth stimulus, the big money that lands in your bank account this fall that reforms SSI and SSDI, and why that second step up could actually be a lot more than we had ever thought about. Then in the middle of this recording, we go over the big money, $5, $10, $15, $20,000 that's available for you, and it's landing right now. I'm really excited for you. We got a big show this morning. The toast is toasted, the butter is buttering, I'm here, you're here, and just the bacon is still missing. This is Mornings LALATE. Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? It's Monday morning. You made it through the weekend. Congratulations. How are you doing? It's getting warmer here in LA. I'm live in Santa Monica, and it's getting warmer. You can see the sun coming in. So tell me where you are watching from this morning, and how's the weather where you are. I'd love to see where if you're watching it either live in the live chat or in the comments. If you're watching a tape later in the day, drop where you're watching from and how's the weather. This is LALATE, and in this recording, we're going to go over that fourth stimulus check that absolutely is incredible. Monthly stimulus check starting the month of July, and not one, but four breaking news that absolutely is critical for you to hear, and such great news across the board. I'm really excited for you. In the second half of this recording, we're going to go over fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, and survivor benefits. But it will also go up with a new benchmark. And we're going to analyze in this video how that benchmark may be higher than we initially thought. Wow. In the middle of this video, we're going to go over $5, $10, $20,000 of money you can get right now. And I want you to get it, and viewers are. And I want you to do it as well. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoon. I'm next live with you on Mornings Crypto. 5 minutes after this show ends, goes right into that next show. And then noontime, home LALATE comes back at 11 a.m. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers on our way to 1 million. Let's do it. Also like this video, 3,000 likes. And if you're not become a member, consider becoming a member. Later in this video, I go over why that's so important. Let's get right to fourth stimulus right off the bat. Let's go over how it's important to understand what is at issue and who wrote it. First, who wrote it? Jalapal wrote the House proposal. And I want you to remember that name because it's going to come up in just a second. So Jalapal wrote the House bill. I said proposal, I meant bill. And the House bill from Jalapal provides a monthly stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal is July to December. How much does Jalapal pay on a monthly basis? The House bill provides $2,000 the first month, $1,000 every month thereafter. The Senate proposal, the amount is unknown on a monthly basis, but word on the street is it's this. Yes, wow. That is per person, yes. So $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. That is per person. Now, Jalapal's House bill is getting a twist, not because of Jalapal, but because of what's going on around us. The Jalapal bill provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. But some insiders believe that the pandemic may be over by the time the vote occurs. Not over for purposes of the virus, but for purposes of legislation. If that's the case, then Jalapal's bill would not provide stimulus checks for pandemic plus 1 year, but just 1 year. That would amount to $13,000 over 12 months. When you compare that to the Senate plan, it's nearly the same amount, just in double the amount of time. Senate plan, about half the amount of time. So if you're watching just after about 9 o'clock on the West Coast, 12 noon on the East Coast, jump in the live chat or in the comments if you're watching it taped and vote House or Senate. Which one do you like? Jalapal, 1 year of checks, or Senate plan, 6 months of checks, but potentially the same amount of money. All right, let's go over all the great news you need to know about the fourth stimulus check. First, who gets it? You do. So if you got the third stimulus check, you're likely to get the fourth. If you make less than $75,000 an individual, you get the fourth stimulus check. Yes. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Just double it. A family of 4, you get the fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And yes, if it's a family of 6, 2 people will not get a stimulus check. And then if you're on benefits, you get the fourth stimulus check. So if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, you get the fourth stimulus check. Congratulations. Remember, I'm just a reporter. I just report the news. The legislators make the representations. I just report their representation. And Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi represent that the vote would be by July 4th. That means that you would get your first check for July in July, for August in August. Would there be any waves of stimulus checks? No, they can't afford to send out waves where people get different checks at different times of the month because it's a monthly stimulus check. So everyone will get a check each day, each month as we go forward. Is a check taken out for child support? We don't know about that yet. Is it a different amount of check for different people? No. Great news. So adult dependents, minor children, everyone else, the same stimulus check. Great, great, great. Is it income? No. Is it taxable? No. And there you go. How do they do this? They're currently doing it. They're currently underway in a 2-month, 2-step process called reconciliation. And all they need to really do at this point is basically almost call the vote, is what they represent. Wow. So that is your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. But guess what? I still have 4 breaking details about this, and it's coming up in just a second. But first, let me give you a preview of the second half of this video. I got a lot of money for you in this video. So get a pen and paper ready and stay to the very end because I got tens of thousands of dollars for money for you to get in this video, and viewers are getting it every single day, so stay with me. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over fifth stimulus, and fifth stimulus will raise your benefits up one time to a big new number. That would be your new number going forward, and that's for you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, SSA, or multiple benefits. And then they'll add a benchmark. What's a benchmark? A benchmark is what they do to determine whether your benefits should step up the next year. The benchmark will be inflation. But there's new data coming out now suggesting that that may be a massive lift of your benefits a lifetime. Oh boy. That exciting news coming up in the second half of this recording, so stay with me. So now I hope you get that pen and paper ready because I got a lot of money for you to get right now, and it's starting at this very moment. $5, $10, $15, $25,000, a lot of money, so stay with me to the very end. First, when the third stimulus, not fourth, but when the third stimulus was passed, there was about $350 billion available for you, which I wanted you to get, but it did not come out. Now it's coming out, and it's landing this week and next week in different locations. So what is it? First, rent, about $5,000, 4 to 6 months of rent. Then renters' utilities, mortgage assistance as a homeowner, and then homeowners' utilities as well. Wow, incredible, great news. So where do you get it? Let's go over the details. Hope you have that pen and paper ready. First, your city hall, then city housing authority, county hall, county housing authority, state hall, state housing authority. What are the key words you say? I need rent assistance because of COVID. That's all you say. You don't say stimulus. Rent assistance because of COVID. You also say maybe the Biden Economic Recovery Act. And every location has different income qualifications and different eligibility, so reach out to each of them because one may say no and another may say yes. They also have their own pot of money. And I have Not one day passes I don't have a viewer saying, I got money for rent because of watching your channel. I'm really excited for you. I had one of the volunteers last night on Evenings LA say, LALATE, I'm being swamped by people saying, I need assistance, and I'm helping them all. So I love that. That means you're taking the information, going and getting it. And that's about $5,000 for rent. Now let's turn to Snap. Snap is incredible. What is Snap? It is money for food. If you got a stimulus check before, you generally qualify for SNAP. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture. That's who administers it. Department of Agriculture. You reach them by calling them up or call 211 and get connected. How much can you get? A lot of money. Family of four in Hawaii can get about $16,000 now in a year. Wow. Why so much money? Because of two executive orders, one from Biden and one from Trump, that raise your benefits up, everyone's benefits up, 15% between now and December. So go get it. Look at how we're doing. 10 minutes of this video, $15,000, $16,000 for SNAP in Hawaii, $5,000 for rent. We are doing very good, but it's time for some automatic money. We love automatic money, don't we? And it's coming in two locations, but I want you not to miss it because I don't want you to throw it away. Yes, that's coming up in just a second. So first, what's the first set of money that's coming automatic? One viewer is getting $5,000 of this. Wow. It's money coming back from your state. I'm going to go over what it is, then I'm going to go over how you get it, and then when you get it. First, what is it? The federal government has identified some states as overpaying unemployment benefits to its citizens, and then asking that money to be returned, noting it was a computer malfeasance and overpayment. The federal government says that was wrong. It was the citizens' money to keep, and the states should not have asked it back. So now, states, if they had overpaid you excess unemployment to no fault of your own due to computer malfeasance, and you return it back, you're getting it back. It's incredible, great news. Second, how are you getting it back? You're getting it back to the account that you have on file that you normally received your unemployment benefits from your state. And finally, when? It just depends on the state. Some states have started, some states have not. Every state has a different routing time. Reach out to your respective state. And congratulations, that one viewer is getting $5,000. All right, the next one, a viewer got $2,000, and it's incredible, great news. This money is coming from the federal government. I'm going to go over how much it is, then how do you get it, and finally, when do you get it? The great news on the when is it's this week and next week, so everyone's going to get paid. So first, what is it? It is the taxes you pay to the federal government on your 2020 unemployment benefits. So let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment benefits. You filed a 2020 tax return. Your total tax return to IRS was $5,000, of which $4,000 was your taxes to IRS on that unemployment benefits. Congratulations. You're getting back $4,000 from IRS. All right, now the next one is probably the most important one, which is how are you getting it? It's coming in the mail in an envelope. And unless you put a direct deposit account on the tax return, it's coming in the mail. Beige or white envelope with a beige check in there from IRS Treasury to you. Now, here's what's really important to know, is that if you have never gotten any stimulus checks in the mail, or you do not receive benefits checks in the mail, you need to understand this check is razor thin. The envelope is razor thin. You could absolutely misplace it in the mail. And if you have one of those mail carriers who slides important checks in between grocery store coupons, you need to be very careful with the mail between now and the end of the first week of June, because that's when it's landing. I don't want you to throw away this check because it's thousands and thousands of dollars. All right, let's go over when. There's 3 phases that are being paid. Everyone gets paid by the end of May, but because of the mail, add an extra week in case it's late. So the first phase is single filers, non-complicated returns, no dependence on the returns, no refunds. Those have already been paid. Phase 2 is now starting. That's single filers, more complicated returns. And phase 3 is later this week. That's joint filers, husband and wife. Incredible, great news. And with that, it's time for that really, really incredible, great news about for stimulus. Not one, but 4 items of incredible, great news that just is really signaling that this week is really the final cat's meow on the chats and lunches with the Republicans. I'm going to go over chronologically all the great news, bringing you up to the present so you know timing and routing and everything at issue. All right, remember that name Jalapal from earlier in this video? Of course you do. Jalapal wrote the House bill for those multiple stimulus checks. When Jalapal wrote that House bill, Jalapal got nearly 100 plus House Democrats and even some senators who wrote a letter to the president saying, we're putting 4 stimulus checks in the 4 stimulus package, just like Jalapal's bill. Okay, so what is and at the same time, senators wrote the president a separate letter saying, if the House members don't get it done, we will get it done at the vote-a-rama stage. We will put the multiple stimulus checks in there if the House members don't. Well, what did Jalapal do just days ago? Wrote a letter to the president, co-signed by some of the same people who co-signed before for multiple stimulus checks. And what did the letter say? Oh, excuse me, to leaders Pelosi and Speaker Pelosi and Leader Schumer. And what did the letter say? Call the vote. Call the vote. Oh boy, incredible, great news. Why is Jalapal saying this? Because the reconciliation bills are ostensibly nearly finished, being written. So there's no reason to really wait around any longer. Jalapal is basically saying, call the vote. Why are we waiting around any longer? Let's just get it done. Incredible, great news. Then the news got even better. When 7 House members wrote the president a letter and said they will work with the president to put those multiple stimulus checks in the 4th stimulus package. Wow. Now, it actually gets better than that. The 7 people who wrote that letter are members of the House Ways and Means Committee, which is the subcommittee of the House that actually writes stimulus checks. Oh my goodness. So the House Ways and Means Committee is the subcommittee that is delegated writing about stimulus checks, writing about unemployment benefits and things like that. And of that very small subcommittee, 7 of them, Democrats that control the subcommittee, wrote the president a letter saying, we're going to work with you and put those in there. Of course, work with you is a euphemism because the president doesn't write the bill. The House subcommittees write the bill. Wow, is Captain Obvious walking through the set yet? And then the president made it even more obvious. On Friday, the president said, you know what, I'll take $600 billion off of my proposal, but the $600 billion was already in another bill somewhere else, so I really didn't need it here. What does the president do? He's basically not changing his position on the 4th stimulus package, which is because the Republicans have not moved a penny on the 4th stimulus package. They started at $500 billion, and they're still at $500 billion now, almost 2 months later. So the president, to his legislators, has said the following. He's going to continue to meet and have lunches with the Republicans up until Memorial Day weekend, but after that, it's done. It's time for the vote. Well, guess what? As one viewer said, oh no, Memorial Day weekend, September. No, it's this weekend. That means there's only 4 more days left. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wow. He's basically saying, I'm not going to meet with the Republicans after Friday. I gave them the last opportunity, and that's it. It's time to call the vote. Incredible, great news. And as if the news couldn't get any better, legislators who AOC once said never show you what they're legislating. They just hand you the bill and tell you to vote in 5 minutes from now and rarely give you updates about what they're doing, gave us an update. That's how vocal they were about the situation. And those legislators came out and said, call the vote. It's no time to wait any longer. And it was not just House members, but also senators, starting with Kristen Gillibrand, Democrat out of New York, when asked whether they should wait around any longer. Absolutely not, Gillibrand said, because Democrats may lose our coalition for human infrastructure. I do not think the White House should relegate recovery to the judgment of Mitch McConnell, because McConnell will not function in good faith. Then Representative Ruben Gallegos, Democrat out of Arizona, says, Republicans are not even being players, and Democrats should just move on without them, meaning call the vote on the reconciliation. And then came Representative Mark Pocan, who is out of Wisconsin. And he said, at what point do Republicans seriously come to the negotiation table? If Republicans don't come to the table, it doesn't mean Democrats don't serve the meal. That's referring to your 4th stimulus. And then Senator Majority Whip Dick Durbin said Democrats might have a timely negotiation with Republicans, but be prepared to finish with reconciliation. Wow. And then finally, Representative Ro Khanna, who never minces words out of California, says, I think Democrats should move forward with our bill. Wow. There you go. Unbelievable. So what's important to understand is that there is also money available for you for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and also homeowners utilities right now. I want you to go get it. And if you're having problems getting it, reach out to the volunteers. They're in the community page, which is in the description to this video. Open up the description to this video and you'll see a little emoji, the emoji of a house. Next to it says community page, and sends you to the link of news.lalate.com/community, the community page. On that webpage is a picture of some cats. Lower on the page are the volunteers. Reach out to them if you're having problems finding that money. They can help you get that money for rent and utilities and also mortgage and internet. And I'll be back in 60 seconds with you with big exciting news about what's in fifth stimulus and a new surprise about what's in fourth stimulus. Oh boy. Stay with me. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals. Reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Mornings LA. The toast is toasting, the coffee's brewing, and the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, we're just missing the bacon. The bacon just did not show up again. How are you? Where are you tuning in from? Hope you're having a beautiful morning, and I'm so excited you're starting your Monday morning and your week with me. This is LALATE, your 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. I'm next on with you 5 minutes after this recording with Mornings Crypto, our new hit show. And then noontime LALATE, of course, at 11 a.m. So join those two shows coming up next on this channel. Subscribe, 400,000 subscribers. Next stop, 1 million, a YouTube record. Let's get to 1 million. Also like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. You'll see the importance of membership shortly in this video. All right, let's cut to fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus heats up this fall, much like fourth stimulus. A two-bill, two-step, two-month process. Just like fourth stimulus, this time they'll add in SSI and SSDI reform. Let's go over how this works starting right now. First, they'll raise your benefit limits. They'll remove the asset cap, add an inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. All right, let me explain this and go over the breaking news about this as well. First, your benefits will be raised up to a big new number. Who's you? This is you. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, SSA, and more, they'll raise your benefits up to a big new number. That'll be your number going forward. Next, they'll apply a benchmark, a new benchmark, inflation. What's a benchmark? This is how it works. Every December, you get a letter saying, next year, your benefits are going to go up, or next year, your benefits are staying the same. What's at issue? Benchmarks either raise your benefits or keep them the same. And your new benchmark's inflation. We all know what inflation is. But here's the rub, is that we're having problems really figuring out how high that inflation rate will be in December. And we're going to be watching it over the next few months. A week ago, we had Jeremy Siegel, professor of economics at the Wharton School of Business, say that the inflation rate may be 20% in December. That's a lot higher than the Federal Reserve that had been talking about 2 or 2.5%. Then we had the head of the Federal Reserve out of Georgia saying that the growth rate may go from 4% now to 10.5%. Wow, that sounds like about 5 to 7% inflation. And then on Friday, we had a series of analysts saying, it feels sort of like about 5 to 7, 4 to 7. So, wow, that's incredible, great news. Let's see how this is such good news for you. First, it would raise up your benefits under fiscal stimulus. And then let's say the inflation rate is 6% in December. Then in December, your benefits would be raised up 6%. That would be lifetime because you never step down. If the year after this it's zero inflation, you don't step down. You stay at +6 the entire existence of your lifetime. And if the year after that's 2, then it adds up another 2%. Great news. Then they're going to remove the asset cap. The asset cap is dating back to a very old 1980s law that says you can't stay on benefits and have more than about $3,000 in the account. You need that gone before getting those stimulus checks. Then they'll remove the income exclusion, dating back to a very antiquated 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. Now you could work if you want. $1,000, $2,000 a month, and incredible great news. And finally, the marriage penalty. Just horrible. It's going to go away. Thank goodness. It penalizes you if you get married. So people have not gotten married because they would lose their benefits. Now love will win. Love will conquer all, and people will be able to get married and not lose benefits. And people who are married will not be penalized. Wow, great news. So that's fiscal stimulus. When does that heat up? It's a 2-bill, 2-step process. In September, out the door, maybe about October-ish, and likely to impact your benefits in November, the step up in January. Now, here's something you need to know, which is that fiscal stimulus has a lot of other stuff in there besides what I just covered in this video. It's a 30-minute video, and I can't cover all the provisions of the fiscal stimulus package. The president calls it the Families Act, but that's why you want to become a member to this channel, because the fiscal stimulus actually has money in there for single people that don't have a family. For single people that are hazard pay, they get money under fiscal stimulus. There's money for seniors in there who don't have a family, for medical assistance. So there's a lot of money in the fiscal stimulus. Also, it's very important to understand that fifth stimulus, fourth stimulus, and third stimulus are all happening at the same time. For example, the fourth stimulus vote will happen no later than July 4th. Also in July is a budget bill that has nothing to do with us. Also in July, the third stimulus money from the children lands across the country. That's third stimulus, not fourth stimulus. So as a member, you get every day a list of what's in the third stimulus, in the fourth stimulus, and in the fifth stimulus, so you don't get confused, because it's easy to get confused. The membership link's at the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. All right, let's go back now to fourth stimulus and the great surprise of what is in there, and the real important news about what's not in there. First, let's go over what's not in there. Rent and homeowners help is not in fourth stimulus. So early in this video, I went over, when I said get a pen and paper, I went over that rent, utilities, mortgage help, homeowners utility help. And I said, I want you to go get it. It's very important to go get it because it's not coming back into fourth stimulus. Moreover, eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance are not coming back into fourth stimulus. So I want you to go get them. That was their concept. They wanted you to get, Democrats, they wanted you to get this money now under third stimulus so that in fourth stimulus they would not have to continue the eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance. But there is a surprise. Oh boy. This one sort of took me by shock. Yeah, I was just speechless. Those 7 members of the House Ways and Means Committee, in addition to telling the president they're going to work with him, which is a euphemism because they're writing the bill, for multiple stimulus checks, they also talked about extending federal unemployment. Really? In my sirloin voice. Really? I did not see this coming. Wow. So which federal unemployment assistance? Not very clear yet. It's a very fluid situation. FPUC may not be the item because it's very controversial at the moment, but it may be PUA, it may be PEUC, it may be something totally new. I don't know. So I will watch that with you over the next few days. Meantime, what's great news is that there's really just 4 days before Labor Day weekend. And with just 4 days away, it's important to understand that those Democrats are very, very laser focused on the following message, which is the mask mandate has been lifted. Businesses are back to normal in many places across the country. People are getting back to work if they want to work and can work. And yet people have bills. They have bills. And let's take a husband and wife, for example, that both work. They're both back at work. They're both making an income, but they still have bills piled up from the pandemic. That's why a fast, quick cash infusion of multiple stimulus checks makes the best sense for the American people. People are not caught up in their bills, and they may be getting back to normal, but they're only going to get financially back to normal if they have stimulus checks. And that's why there's incredible movement, whether it is letter after letter or statements or interviews about stimulus checks, because people are getting back to normal, but their bank accounts aren't, and they need those stimulus checks. And that's why we're staying on message. And I really thank you for joining me on Mornings LALATE. It's been a big morning, so make sure you subscribe. I want you part of this family. 400,000 subscribers, next stop 1 million. Also like this video, 3,000 likes. I'll see you next back on air live in 5 minutes from now with Mornings Crypto, our new fun hit show. It's a lot of fun, so tune into that. And then at 11 a.m. with Noontime LA. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful morning. The toast is toasted and the butter is buttered, and I'll be here back with you in 5 minutes from now. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA.